transportation, the Gambia International Airlines recorded a net profit of $14.8 million in 2024. This is its first profitable year in many years. To provide additional support towards universal electricity access, my administration introduced a subsidy program and reduced the cost of electricity meter from $8,500 to $500 within the project covered areas. We expect to complete the OIC 50 kilometer urban roads, the Kiang West Roads, and the Nyomi Hakalang Road. Private ferry services operated by NECMA Ferry Company will also commence soon on the Banjul Bara route. Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, honorable members of the National Assembly, Your Excellency, the Vice President, Your Worship, the Chief Justice of the Gambia, Excellencies, former Vice Presidents, Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, senior public officials and service chiefs, party leaders, venerable religious leaders, distinguished personalities, ladies and gentlemen. In accordance with the Constitution of the Gambia, I feel profoundly honored and uniquely privileged to deliver the 2025 State of the Nation Address before this esteemed Assembly. This year holds exceptional significance in view of the 60th anniversary of the Gambia's attainment of political independence, a milestone symbolizing 6 decades of sovereignty and collective progress. This Diamond Jubilee reflects the tenacity and values that characterize our nation's journey over the years. During the period, we have learned that charting a stronger, enduring, and brighter future for a nation comes with difficulties and choices to make. Guided by the recovery-focused National Development Plan, YIRWA 2023-2027, we have embarked on a strategic course to foster inclusive and sustainable development. As a blueprint, the plan serves to consolidate our gains and accelerate socio-economic transformation across all sectors. Honorable Speaker, to objectively reflect on the performance of my administration during the 2024 calendar year, it is necessary to acknowledge both our achievements and the challenges that confront us. Importantly, however, our commitment to unity, democratic principles, and progressive policies remain unwavering as we strive to enhance the well-being of every Gambian. In this spirit, I present to this august body a summary of the nation's current state of affairs, highlighting the key accomplishments, ongoing challenges, and our strategic priorities for the future. These features in the themes discussed ahead, and I will begin with our international engagements. Diplomacy and international cooperation. Honorable Speaker, the Gambia continues to strengthen its international presence and diplomatic engagements to advance our national interests, enhance global cooperation, and promote peace and development. We remain committed to expanding bilateral and multilateral partnerships, improving diaspora engagement, and ensuring the protection of Gambian citizens wherever they may be. The Gambia's international presence has been magnified by the successful hosting of the 15th OIC Summit in 2024 and my assuming the chairmanship of the organization. Furthermore, the country's eligibility for the UN Secretary General's Peace Building Fund has been renewed for another 5 years. In addition, we have been successfully re-elected to the Human Rights Council and the African Union Peace and Security Council. In the same year, the Kingdom of Morocco opened its embassy in the country to strengthen bilateral relations and cooperation, while the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire established an honorary consulate here. Additionally, over 30 ambassadors and diplomats presented their credentials, signaling increased international interest in engaging with the Gambia. These developments will continue to position the country as a respected and resourceful member of the international community. Honorable Speaker, we proudly maintain our status as the human rights capital of Africa, hosting the Continental Human Rights Institution. Thus, in October last year, we hosted the 84th Ordinary Session of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, further solidifying our role in regional human rights advocacy. Internationally, the Gambia has steadfastly championed human rights and justice on the global stage. This includes our active involvement in the International Court of Justice on the plight of the Rohingya, the legal struggles of Palestine, and essential climate change actions. Honorable Speaker, as Chairman of the OIC, I express grave concern over the recent escalation of Israel attacks on Iran, resulting in the killing of military and non-military officials. I call for restraint and a return to peace in the region. Dialogue is the ultimate solution to our global concerns, and we must endeavor to pursue it. In January 2025, my government participated in the Universal Periodic Review and presented the country's human rights record before the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva. This marked a significant milestone in reinstating our nation's rightful global standing. Legal and judicial matters. The Ministry of Justice made significant strides in 2024 by reinforcing the rule of law, protecting human rights, and ensuring justice for all. Key achievements in this area include the completion and tabling of the revised draft Commission established through legislation passed by this Assembly will commence operations in this legislative year. The criminal divisions secure convictions in numerous cases, while the sexual and gender-based violence unit of the Ministry of Justice provided critical legal support and raised public awareness on such matters. The Registrar General's Department has upscaled digitization efforts and now operates an online marriage registration portal, thus enhancing efficiency and accountability. Despite these successes, challenges remain, particularly in digitalization, in digitalizing our legal processes. We are committed to addressing such gaps through continued reforms, capacity building, and international collaboration. Honorable Speaker, all this reflect my government dedication to fostering a just, transparent, and accountable legal system, and to ensure that the rights of all Gambians are protected and upheld. National security. Honorable Speaker, I submit that we recognize the remarkable transformation of our security and armed forces. Today, they proudly exhibit a respectable degree of professionalism and preparedness, hence honoring their duty to safeguard our independence and territorial integrity. The delegation of our citizens in uniform echoes the resilient spirit of our people. Their commitment to peace and security continues to reinforce national security and safeguard public order. Progressively, the government is strengthening internal security, modernizing our national identity card management and national security infrastructure. The digitalization of our national documents is in progress, and we will soon replace the concession contract for the national ID system. The ID cards will be integrated with the electronic civil registration and vital statistics, passport and other identification databases to create a unified digital ID system that is locally designed, built, operated, and managed by our services. This initiative will expand our revenue base, improve national security, enhance service delivery, and ensure knowledge transfer and ownership. Honorable Speaker, in collaboration with the Ministry of Works, the Ministry of Interior is reviewing the Motor Traffic Act to introduce appropriate action against road offenders. Meanwhile, plans are underway to install CCTV systems along the OIC highway and other strategic locations. This will be linked to a traffic management center for real-time monitoring and law enforcement. A new highway patrol unit is already in operation to enhance road safety. In addition, modern surveillance equipment worth $38 million is secured from the German government has been installed in strategic locations to reinforce crime prevention. Also, the West African Police Information System is in use to digitize paper-based police records for easier access, sharing, and utilization. Mr. Speaker, while our law enforcement agencies have intensified crime prevention, challenges persist with irregular migration, border security, drug trafficking, and other offenses. I call on the general public to support the security services in their security intelligence gathering, operations, investigation, and prosecution of criminals. Honorable Speaker, a draft Gambia Immigration Department Bill 2023 to enhance border control and management has been submitted for cabinet review. The proposal aims to update the 1965 Immigration Act and align it with current migration governance procedures. Modern border posts are fully operational at Amdalai, Ker Ayub, and Jiboro, and plans are afoot to build one more on the Soma-Siliti border. Although the Immigration Department and law enforcement agencies have increased patrols and surveillance, they need to deploy modern security technology and intelligence sharing mechanism for improved efficiency. To show the magnitude of the fight against drug abuse and illicit drug trafficking, our drug law enforcement agency recorded over 1,000 cases in 2024 and secured 126 convictions. Honorable Speaker, our resolve to safeguard our territorial integrity is evidenced by the improvement of our soldiers' welfare through their revised terms and conditions of service. The increased provision of modern patrol boats and artillery tanks, the logistical support to enhance military professionalism and prepare our troops for military duties and their participation in international missions have uplifted the image, competence, and performance of the security services. Beyond defense, the Gambia Armed Forces contributes to various areas of national development, such as agricultural engagements, infrastructure development, and disaster response. The Gambia Armed Forces, for example, has launched a 20-hectare rice pilot project at Jahali Pachar to support national food security efforts. They have also established a fully operational poultry farm in Yundum, together with a vibrant vegetable garden that serves the local community. ECOMIC is equally engaged in rendering impressive projection made of 5.9% by December 2025. Inflation dropped significantly from 17.13% in 2023 to 10.2% in 2024. This strong performance was realized through solid growth in financial services, trade, construction, and mining. In 2023. The central bank continues to hold comfortable levels of international reserves, which stood at $515 million in January 2025. This was sufficient to finance over 4.6 months of prospective import . From 75.7% in 2023. This is against the 70% debt sustainability threshold. The economic outlook for 2025 and beyond shows even better prospects, with a projected growth rate of 5.9% in 2025 and inflation falling to 9.6% by end 2025 from 17.3% in 2023. Additionally, my government has adopted measures to stabilize basic commodity prices, to lower the cost of living, maintaining a market-driven exchange rate, and implement climate-sensitive policies for a sustainable future. Honorable Speaker, our partners and the Gambian diaspora continue to contribute meaningfully to our national progress. Their support fuels our development endeavors and underscores our collective resilience and enterprise. To accompany these, public financial management reforms remain central to our governance agenda of building a more resilient, competitive, and sustainable economy that would uplift the lives of all Gambians. The revised 2014 Public Finance Act and the Public Procurement Regulations have modernized our financial oversight framework, strengthen efficiency and transparency in public procurement processes, and ensure accountability in financial resource management. The State-owned Enterprise Commission, now active, recently signed a performance contract with NAWEC, further enhancing fiscal discipline and governance across state institutions. Honorable members, while economic growth has remained steady, inflation and the rising cost of living continue to impact household incomes. In response, the government has implemented a salary review for civil servants and social protection programs to alleviate the suffering of low-income earners. Transport and infrastructure development. We are laying the foundation for a stronger, more competitive and prosperous Gambia by building and developing our roads, ports, public transport, and the aviation sector. We maintain that infrastructure is a key driver of economic growth and national connectivity. It facilitates mobility, trade, and services, thereby fostering prosperity and improving the quality of life for Gambians. Already, we have made significant progress in both urban and rural road development. In 2024, we completed Phase 1 and Phase 2 of 22-kilometer OIC highway and launched Phase 3 as part of the historic Diamond Jubilee celebration. This attractive infrastructure has transformed the face of urban Gambia forever. By the end of the third quarter of 2025, we expect to complete the OIC 50-kilometer urban roads, the Kiang West Roads, and the Nyomi Hakalang Road. Hopefully, a significant portion of the 365-kilometer roads nationwide will be completed by the end of the year. The consensus contract with Albrak Company Limited became effective in February 2025 with the taking over of the port terminal by Alport. This is a joint venture between the Gambia Port Authority, representing the government, and Albrak. Alport Banjul will expand and eventually move its operations to Sanya after completion of the deep sea port terminal construction due to start this year. As part of re-establishing the 2 ferries in service, we await the delivery of 2 new procured green ferries. Private ferry services operated by Nekma Ferry Company will also commence soon on the Banjul-Bara route. This initiative will guarantee reliable, safe, and affordable ferry services on this route. Mr. Speaker, as part of efforts to decentralize governance, my government has started the infrastructural work needed to provide a new governor's residence and office complex in the Upper River region, URR. We have a similar plan for the Lower River region, LRR, and the project is due for completion early next year. On air transportation, the Gambia International Airlines recorded a net profit of $14.8 million in 2024. This is its first profitable year in many years. The airline now works with Jivan Investment Solution and Holdings to reintroduce a Gambian national airline and thereby enhance air access to destination Gambia. Energy, Honorable Speaker. The energy sector remains central to our national development objectives for economic growth, industrialization, social modernization, and progress. We have made significant progress in expanding electricity access nationwide. Recent assessments indicate that by end 2025, 90% of Gambians will have access to electricity. In 2024, the country unveiled the first ever utility large-scale solar park of 23 megawatts in Jambur. Furthermore, a tender is underway for an extra 50 megawatt solar plant in Jara Soma, which can be scaled up to 150 megawatts renewable energy. To provide additional support towards universal electricity access, my administration introduced a subsidy program and reduced the cost of electricity meter from $8,500 to $500 within the project covered areas. This facilitated 72,000 new household connections by December 2024. The Cabinet has also approved the splitting of NAWEC into separate water and electricity companies. The strategy is to improve service delivery, ensure accountability, and enhance operation focus. Petroleum, Mr. Speaker. To regulate the growing mining and mineral sector, the Ministry of Petroleum, Energy and Mines validated quarry regulations in August 2024 and reviewed the Mines and Quarries Act 2005 to align them with new industry developments and best practices. My government will continue prioritizing investments in electricity generation, renewable energy, petroleum exploration, and mineral resource management to ensure sustainable energy security for all Gambians. Mr. Speaker, the search for oil and gas continues. A total of 5 wells were test drilled in the Gambia, 2 of them under my administration. In a partnership of FAR and Petronas, the 2 drilled during my tenure are named Samo 1 well drilled in 2018 and Bambo 1 well drilled in 2021. The drill wells under my administration cost $100 million US. Although the results from both wells are very promising and positive, no discovery was made. The companies exited the Gambia's license after fulfilling their obligations, which were primarily to drill the wells. In 2019, BP was granted the A1 license. They paid the government a $10 million US signature bonus and $30 million penalty for existing without fulfilling their license commitment. It was a result of their policy shift from oil and gas exploration to renewable energy that BP exited the Gambia at the outbreak of the COVID-19 epidemic. For the time being, we are building the necessary institutional and legislative foundation to attract investors in oil and gas exploration in our shores. Trade, industry, and employment. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment continues to drive policies and initiatives to strengthen trade, foster private sector development, and create employment opportunities. In this regard, the Gambia Trade Logistic Charter was officially launched in November 2024 to facilitate trade and improve efficiency at various locations. Following this, the Trade Logistics Council was inaugurated on 28 January 2025 to oversee and monitor the implementation of the charter. With the support of the ECOWAS, a modern Lumo market has been constructed in Wellingaraba, LRR, to enhance cross-border trade. This initiative is part of the Lumo Modernization Program, which aims to build modern market infrastructure to facilitate domestic and regional trade. Honorable Speaker, the Trans-Gambia Corridor Special Economic Zone project is progressing well as part of the wider Prera-Dakar-Abuja-Lagos multimodal corridor. The study of this project was done with support from the African Development Bank and ECOWAS. The National Industrial Policy and the GAIPA Act 2015 are now being updated. The objectives are to support industrialization initiatives, attract investment, modernize our industrial ecosystem, and promote value-added production to enable private sector growth and expand job creation. To enhance employment opportunities abroad, the government continues to work closely with our bilateral partners in Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Spain, and cruise ship liners to expand our placement quotas while ensuring that our young people have safe and productive employment abroad. To conclude, through legislative reforms, infrastructure investments, and digital transformation, we are laying the groundwork for an inclusive and competitive economy to integrate the Gambia into regional and global trade networks. Agriculture and food security. Honorable Speaker, agriculture provides livelihoods for the majority of Gambians and plays a crucial role in attaining food security, employment, and rural development. As outlined in the Gambia Agricultural Transformation Program 2020-2030, the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, and Food Security is focusing on increasing rice yields from 2 to 4 metric tons per hectare and maize from 2 to 3 metric tons per hectare. The 2024 cropping season marks significant improvements in agricultural input support for farmers. We registered increases in the provision of fertilizer and certified seeds and increased matching grants for the farmers and youths. To explain further, my administration procured 28,000 metric tons of fertilizer and reduced the price from $2,500 per bag to $1,150 per bag of 50 kilo and 1,100 per bag of 50 kilo bag in the last 2 farming seasons, respectively. In addition to this, through various agricultural projects, the government distributed 8,697 metric tons of fertilizer, over 1,000 metric tons of certified rice seeds, 300 metric tons of certified maize seeds, and 140,000 liters of herbicides to farmers across the country free of charge. Livestock, Mr. Speaker, on livestock production, significant investments was realized in the past year, with about 4,000 small ruminant fattening and breeding schemes implemented nationwide. The Ministry of Agriculture also handed over 5 abattoirs, 5 livestock markets, 7 meat stalls, a mini dairy with 2 collection centers and pasture equipment. We persist in promoting mechanized and land preparation for upland and lowland farming by procuring the required machines. 180 tractors and 20 retrovator boats have been procured for deployment during the 2025-2026 cropping season. My government encourages private sector participation in rice production and other crops by facilitating access to farmland and related support schemes. These include the introduction of integrated rice parboiling and milling machines, irrigation and mechanization of cereal harvesting, and easy access to agricultural financing or credit matching grants. By increasing access to finance, mechanization, value chain enhancement, and irrigation expansion, we are ensuring that agriculture is a sustainable and profitable sector that boosts the quality of life here, support a higher employment rate, and enhances livelihoods in rural communities. Fisheries, Honorable Speaker. The fisheries sector is another important source of revenue for the government and food for the population. In 2024, revenue collected from fishing licenses, fines, landing fees, and permits exceeded $142 million, with an additional outstanding $88 million due for collection. To address the primary challenges in the fisheries sector, my administration is conducting a comprehensive review of the fisheries and aquaculture regulations funded by Food and Agriculture Organization. The review will modernize fisheries laws, strengthen enforcement, and combat illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. Through the European Union Sector Support Program, fisheries co-management is being expanded in the North Bank region, NBR, to support 21 oyster harvesting communities. This is to ensure sustainable management of oyster resources and greater economic improvement for coastal communities. Under the same program, 2 additional fish landing platforms are being constructed in Katong and Sanya. To enhance local fishing and support rural fishing communities, the government distributed 20 well-equipped fishing boats in January 2025. Honorable Speaker, we are bent on optimizing opportunities in the fisheries sector through laws, expanded programs, improved aquaculture infrastructure, and strengthen transboundary water cooperation, environment, and climate change. Honorable Speaker, the government remains steadfast in protecting the environment, strengthening climate resilience, and ensuring sustainable natural resource management. Through the robust policy reforms, enhanced disaster preparedness, and expanded conservation programs, we will continue to build a cleaner, greener, and more sustainable society as enshrined in the Banjul Declaration in 1977. To strengthen governance in environmental management, we are advancing key legislative reforms for environmental protection. This includes carbon trading and waste management frameworks. To strengthen all this, in 2024, designated officials were deployed to monitor environmental violations and ensure compliance. Reforestation and biodiversity. The government continues to prioritize reforestation and biodiversity conservation to enhance climate resilience and safeguard natural habitats. Last year, 29 community forests covering an area of 2,591 hectares were brought under government protection. Through the UNESCO network of biosphere reserves, the Gambia's first designated biosphere reserve, the Nyomi Biosphere Reserve, was launched in January 2025. It covers over 196,665 hectares, along with the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Kunta Kinte Island. We are reinforcing the Gambia's global conservation efforts. Honorable Speaker, the impact of floods, deforestation, and environmental degradation continues to threaten food security and livelihoods. Although the National Disaster Risk Management Policy 2024-2023 and sustainable environmental programs are key to mitigating these risks, my administration will pay more attention to constructing better climate resilience infrastructure. Tourism, Honorable Speaker. The tourism sector remains a key catalyst of the Gambia's economic growth, generating employment, foreign exchange earnings, and business opportunities. As a result, my government is resolute in expanding and diversifying the sector through strategic partnerships, infrastructure development, cultural promotion, and capacity building. In 2024, we recorded 227,000 tourist arrivals, representing a 10% increase compared to 2023. This growth reflects marketing efforts, improved international connectivity, and strategic partnerships. These efforts have led to new flights to the Gambia, including those from Scandinavia and Nigeria. The projection for 2025 is a further increase in the number of visitors, and we are on track towards achieving the RFNDP target of 336,787 arrivals by air. Arts and culture. Mr. Speaker, to maintain and build on our competitiveness, attraction, and cultural preservation efforts, we have introduced the Janjambure Bicentenary and Kankurang festivals and review the Roots Homecoming and Futampan festivities. In addition to internationalizing Gambian cookery and river cruising, furthermore, we will give more attention to bird watching and wildlife parks. With support from the World Bank, we are determined to complete the eco-tourist resorts and hunting camps nationwide. Honorable Speaker, for the first time, the Gambia has conducted a comprehensive demand and destination assessment of all major tourist sites. 10 key sites have been prioritized for investment. Regarding our national heritage, the Gambia government has submitted the UNESCO Convention of 1954 on the protection of heritage in times of armed conflict to the National Assembly for ratification. Once ratified, the Gambia will be a signatory to all existing UNESCO conventions and thus solidifying the government's commitment to protecting and preserving our national heritage. Mr. Speaker, we also launched the report of the Gambia's Intangible Cultural Heritage, ICH, landscape and the National ICH Register in November 2024 with support from the Heritage Management Organization. With the Register of Intangible Cultural Heritage, the tourism sector stands on the edge of having an element of the Gambian heritage nominated for inscription into the UNESCO site safeguarding list of ICH. This could be a remarkable step towards protecting and valorizing the Gambian heritage. Honorable Speaker, my administration is evaluating both the human resource and equipment capabilities for the Gambia Tourism and Hospitality Institute, GTHI, through the support of the World Bank. To this end, GTHI is expanding student accommodation and providing its students with hands-on training experiences. Besides this, in alignment with market demands, a new curriculum will be developed to GTHI to take care of emerging trends in tourism. Communication and digital economy. Mr. Speaker, the digital economy has become a key driver of national development. It creates employment, improves service delivery, and enhances economic opportunities. So far, the expansion of mobile broadband connectivity has exceeded 60%, and it is steadily progressing towards the national target of 85%. The telecommunications sector contributed 22% of the total tax revenue collected in 2024. The rollout of the Gambia's second subsea cable is ongoing, and it is due for completion in 2025. 2026. This initiative will increase bandwidth availability and provide redundancy to the 4 subsea cable, thus ensuring reliable internet connectivity across the country. Notwithstanding the expanded and ongoing general infrastructure development in various areas of development, like transport efficiency and urban social services, the demand for reliable power, as well as bandwidth and digital access, remains high. The rollout of the second subsea cable and the digital infrastructure project are expected to address these challenges. The National Digital Addressing Initiative reported here before has been completed in Banjul and Kanifing municipality, and it is being rolled out in the West Coast region. As an other initiative to strengthen cybersecurity and digital protection, my government introduced a child and vulnerable groups online protection policy and developed a 2024 cybercrime bill. Honorable Speaker, the restructuring of GAMTEL, GAMCEL, and GAMPOS remain a high priority for my government. In this respect, the World Bank has committed $6.4 million for GAMCEL social plan. This will provide compensation packages for over 700 affected members of staff. It also includes other areas of support for the employees. Efforts are underway to clear a combined tax liability of $787 million owed by GAMTEL and GAMCEL. Addressing these liabilities is necessary to restore the financial stability and market competitiveness of the companies. The Gambia Postal Service Corporation, on the other hand, is digitizing its activities to improve its operational efficiency and financial performance. The corporation is working on deploying a SIM-skin mobile wallet technology that will enable users to send and receive money without using the internet. This technology will enhance financial inclusion, especially for the rural population. With these initiatives, we will continue to pursue an inclusive and technology-driven economy that benefits all Gambians. Media and broadcasting. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Information plays the vital role of ensuring transparency, public engagement, and access to timely and accurate information to enhance public understanding of government policies and programs. The Ministry launched several key communication initiatives last year. Among them is the Mansakunda Ministerial Town Hall, a bi-weekly public engagement program that creates direct interaction between the public and government ministries. For the purpose of enhancing transparency and access to information, the ministry, in partnership with Freedom House and other stakeholders, developed and validated the Consolidated Access to Information ATI implementation roadmap in 2024. The roadmap outlines roles, responsibilities, and timeline for full enforcement of the ATI Act. This year, the government will pursue the amendment of the GRTS Act and expand the digital terrestrial television towards full transition from analog to digital broadcasting. I also this August Assembly that the government remains fully committed to strengthening press freedom, expanding access to government information, and modernizing public broadcasting services, infrastructure, and human capital development. In pursuit of sustainable development on a grand scale, our administration prioritizes infrastructural development that guarantees equitable access to education, healthcare, universal access to electricity, and safe, reliable transportation for our people. This far, we have paved about 910 kilometers of roads and expanded our power grid, aiming to ensure that electricity reaches every Gambian home by the end of 2025. These infrastructure advancements are complemented by impressive progress in education, as seen in our revamped schools and increasing enrollment rates. Honorable Speaker, it is worth noting that 424 new schools have been built, accompanied by 6,400 new classrooms. Those providing learning space to accommodate the increasing number of Gambian children. Consequently, our education sector has experienced significant advances, with gross enrollment rates rising to 102.8% at the lower basic level, 77.6% at the upper basic level, 55.9% at the secondary education level. The statistics highlights our steadfast dedication to removing obstacles, enhancing access to quality education, and fostering opportunities for every Gambian child to excel. At the upper level of our training and skills development program, during the year under review, my government made significant progress in expanding higher education infrastructure to meet the growing demand for tertiary education and skills training. The University of the Gambia schools, Faraba Banta faculties, and the campus are providing a conducive learning environment for students. I am glad to report that it is attracting students from the regions as education tourism. Construction work of the University of Science and Technology campus in Brikama and a multipurpose technical and vocational education and training Tibet Center in Wasu is ongoing. These interventions are aimed at expanding technical and engineering education in the Gambia. The transformation of Gambia College into the University of Education and the Management Development Institute into the Civil Service University is expected to improve teacher training programs, public service delivery, and governance respectively. Further still, my government is establishing specialized training centers of excellence to equip the youth with practical expertise in agriculture, in SAPU, and Fisheries Center of Excellence in Tujereng to enhance their employment and employability. Through sustained investment, policy reforms, and innovative education programs, we will continue to empower Gambian students and our youth with the knowledge and skills they need to compete and succeed. Healthcare. Honorable Speaker, the government will continue to build a resilient and inclusive healthcare system that ensures quality care for all Gambians. Our investment in Farato General Hospital, the rollout of the National Health Insurance Scheme to 13 public health facilities nationwide is reducing financial barriers to healthcare. The construction of the National Emergency Treatment, Blood Transfusion, Diagnostics, and Imaging Centers, as well as the Food and Drug Quality Control Laboratory around the Bruceby roundabout is nearing completion. These, together with the ongoing construction of 6 new health facilities in various parts of the country, and the expansion and refurbishment of both Birkamamba Health Center and Biam Hospital, will certainly ensure improved healthcare outcomes. Meanwhile, 5 X-ray machines have been installed and in use in our regional hospitals. 11 laboratories are now solar-powered, and 1,100 household latrines have been constructed across the country to improve sanitation and hygiene. We are also building a new warehouse for drugs and a medical supply storage to improve the availability and distribution of essential medicines. To further enhance reliable transportation and service delivery, particularly in the rural area, we have procured 32 new ambulances, 7 trucks, and 61 motorbikes to replace the aging fleets of vehicles and improve emergency response time. Over the years, there have been significant improvements in healthcare infrastructure development, medical equipment provision, and national health insurance coverage. Nonetheless, access to specialized care and the shortage of healthcare personnel remain areas for further investment. All our healthcare reforms are meant to build a resilient and inclusive healthcare system that guarantees quality care for all Gambians. To realize this, I urge the health sector to reform our drug chain management and regulation for ready availability of reliable and safer quality drugs. On employment and poverty reduction. Honorable Speaker, equally important is our resolve to reduce the incidence of unemployment and poverty. Initiatives such as the recently launched Skills Innovation and Entrepreneurship SIE Fund with an initial allocation of $396 million, the Women Enterprise Fund and the Gaipa Agriculture Investment Initiative now play a pivotal function in empowering our youth and women by providing them with skills and greater opportunities to prosper. We acknowledge the challenges before us, particularly those facing the youth seeking opportunities abroad. We assure them that pathways to success are continually being created for them at home through safe and official migration pathways. Gender, children, and social welfare. Honorable Speaker, the empowerment of women, protection of children, and social welfare are essential for a prosperous society. Through policies, economic programs, and social protection initiatives, we are ensuring that women, children, persons with disabilities, and vulnerable communities have equal opportunities and support systems to improve their lives. We will continue to make significant strides in promoting gender equality and women empowerment. In the area of gender-based violence, child protection, and people living with disabilities continue to be a priority for my government. But this requires more awareness, legal enforcement, and victim support systems. To succeed, in November 2024, the National Gender Policy 2025-2034 and Action Plan 2025-2030 were launched. The policy serves as the framework for coordinating and harmonizing gender mainstreaming efforts across the country. Because women's participation in economic activities is vital for national development, my administration has expanded financial inclusion and access to resources for female entrepreneurs. Between June and December 2024, for example, the sum of $15.88 million was disbursed by the Women Enterprise Fund to support 138 women groups across the country. 26.3% of the amount disbursed was successfully recovered during the period. Honorable Speaker, the government continues to implement critical interventions to combat malnutrition, promote food security, and enhance social welfare. The National Social Protection Act 2024, for instance, has established a centralized social protection fund to finance initiatives across the 5 areas of the National Social Protection Policy 2015-2025. This has been operationalized in the 2025 budget and will be used to expand the government-funded initiative of mainstreaming social assistance to vulnerable households through the Family Strengthening Program. The program supports vulnerable persons such as orphans, the elderly, female-headed households, and people living with disabilities. In 2024, under the Gambia Resilience, Inclusion, Skills, and Equity Rise project, $31 million was allocated to the NAFA Cash Transfer Program. The program will add 20,000 more beneficiaries to the existing 16,699 beneficiaries. On disability support, $500,000 was allocated to the National Disability Advisory Council. Institutional support of $1 million was also provided to the Gambia Federation of the Disabled and 10 organizations of persons with disabilities to support disability programming in government and civil society. There will be an additional 3,000 beneficiaries to the existing 2,011 individuals, raising the beneficiaries to 5,011 persons. The program continues to progress by the year. Honorable Speaker, it is gratifying to mention that the Gambia is now one of the first countries to complete a census approach social registry on the continent. Consequently, the National Social Protector Agency is transforming social assistance in the country through a data-driven approach to target potential beneficiaries. More than 10 programs across MDAs, UN agencies, and NGOs have utilized the data to support individuals and households. The government is building the structures to ensure that we leave no one behind. Youth welfare. Mr. Speaker, my government will continue investing in youth advancement so that young people can participate maximally in national development and experience a vibrant ecosystem that caters for their development needs. In August 2023, I launched the pilot phase of the National Youth Service graduate program implemented in collaboration with the University of the Gambia. The program equips and prepares young university graduates for the job market. Today, I am pleased to announce that so far, 88 youths have completed their national service program. While the NYSS will maintain recruiting young people for the apprenticeship training program, the Gambia Songhai Initiative will equally continue training young persons on integrated farming systems with less environmental impact. Alongside these developments, a national youth service for university graduates has commenced with 100 UTG students placed in various institutions as part of their civic responsibility to the nation. 200 senior school graduates are also undergoing a 2-year technical and vocational education and training, fully funded by the government. Other ongoing training plans are in place to make this national service mandatory. On entrepreneurship training and access to startup grants and loans for young people, NEDI has over 1,000 young people, among whom are backway returnees. Some of the trainees were provided with grants to set up or scale up their businesses. In a similar development, NEDI has opened 2 business formalization centers, one in Soma to serve the North Bank and Lower River regions, and other in Basse to serve the Central and Upper River regions. This year, NEDI will maintain direct support to about 50 young entrepreneurs through business grants and loans. Sports. To put it briefly, it is reassuring that our athletes are keenly participating in various international competitions and are doing well in many respects. On infrastructure development, the Ministry of Youth and Sport recently opened the Farafenye Youth Center after a major rehabilitation exercise. In addition, the Serekunda Mboyo Field is being transformed into a standard mini stadium to host various sporting activities. Our determination to provide more facilities around the country has led to ongoing discussions to build a second national stadium in Lamin. In the interim, the upgrading of the Independence Stadium to meet CAF standards is in its final phase. The remaining works are to do with tracks and around the main hall. Mr. Speaker, on 21st January of this year, the Gambia successfully hosted the Interregional African Ministerial Meeting on Anti-Doping in Sport. That significant event brought together ministers, experts, and key stakeholders from across Africa and international organizations to discuss effective strategies to combat doping, ensure fairness, and protect the integrity of athletes. Hosting such a high-level political platform demonstrates my government's readiness to lead this agenda. Our position is grounded in the ethical values of sports and our commitment to strengthening partnerships and networking with bilateral and multilateral bodies. On the legislative framework, on the legislative front, the National Sport Policy 2024-2034 has been adopted to enhance sport governance and athletics development. The ministry has also formulated the Gambia's new sports bill and youth bill and will amend the PIA, NYSS, and NADI Act. The bills will be submitted to the National Assembly for better regulations of the sport and youth sector and for better performance. Lands and regional administration. Mr. Speaker, land governance and local administration remain critical to national development and social stability. For the first time in the Gambia's history, my government is developing a national land policy under the West African Coastal Area WACA project. A key component of this policy is the establishment of a digital land information system that will integrate specific parcel data with ownership records. The objective is to ascertain secure land tenure and simplify land ownership procedures. In a related development, a new real estate regulation is being designed to address challenges such as unclear property ownership, unregulated land sales, fraudulent transactions, and weak enforcement of property laws leading to disputes. I am optimistic that the work on the first draft of the real estate regulation will be completed this year. That aside, a multi-sectoral task force was established on 4 July 2024 to investigate illegal land transactions and violations in government layouts, revised land, wetland, and along the Abuko bypass road corridor. We look forward to the report to guarantee transparency in land governance. As we strive to address housing challenges and improve living standards, my administration remains steadfast in promoting transparency, land governance, and strengthening local government structures through fair and transparent initiatives. Public service management. Mr. Speaker, a well-functioning civil service is fundamental to national development. Hence, my government is working diligently to ascertain that the public sector operates efficiently, delivers quality services, and support national growth. As part of the Civil Service Reform Program 2018, the administration has prioritized efficiency and effectiveness in the public sector. Consequently, last year, the government conducted a comprehensive salary and allowance review for government employees. This led to a significant pay rise for all civil servants in government effective January 2025. Among other issues, the review was to make sure that salaries keep pace with inflation and the rising cost of living, to strengthen payroll integrity and workforce management for accountability and financial prudence in government institutions. Several payroll integrity measures have been introduced. One of them is the successful staff audit for the entire civil service conducted to identify and stop wrongful salary payments. This aside, payroll-based electronic time attendance machines are being installed to prevent absence at work and unlawful salary payments. Salaries of absentee employees have been stopped, and relevant financial institutions asked to return all wrongful payments to government. Honorable Speaker, my administration is working hard to maintain a professional, efficient, accountable, and motivated civil service that upholds integrity and delivers quality services. We recognize the need for further stabilizing measures to elevate the welfare of the hard-working personnel in the public sector, and will pursue this with vigor. Partnerships. Mr. Speaker, we recognize the invaluable role of bilateral and multilateral institutions, donor agencies, foreign governments, and development partners in advancing our national agenda. On behalf of the Gambian people, I extend our deepest gratitude to all of them. The diaspora Gambians, remittances and investments significantly contribute to the country's economic stability and growth. They have definitely reinforced their position as an integral part of our socio-economic progress, and we thank them. The Gambia remains committed to maintaining these partnerships as we work towards sustainable and inclusive national development. So, with deep appreciation, I extend a renewed hand of collaboration to all our development partners. Concluding remarks, Honorable Speaker, Honorable National Assembly members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my address has shed light on the journey we have collectively embarked upon for reflection, inspiration, and redelegation to our dear nation. It borders on various development dimensions, ranging from our ever-growing international engagements and economic growth to our resounding governance reforms. The imposing new road infrastructure across the country and other numerous life-changing social welfare enhancement initiatives, for instance, demonstrate that the Gambia is on a far-reaching progressive path. This has been made possible through our national development plans, with the objectives and strategies of the current National Development Plan YIRWA, paving the way for the realization of our national vision. Honorable National Assembly members, my government has exhibited, through concrete action, the political will to realize our development policies and programs. National plans and programs, however, require national execution for national results. Our citizens and sectors have a role to play for everyone to reap the benefits. We need our development partners to complement our efforts, but the transformation of our communities and progress of the nation are principally our responsibility. There is no magic formula for national development. In unity lies our strength and success. Conversely, this unity exposes us to obstacles and troubles. During our Diamond Jubilee celebration, my government re-echoed its calls for solidarity because our defense, our survival, and advancement depend on it. We cannot change our land area, but we can harness and transform social, economic, and environmental factors for us to evolve out of poverty and underdevelopment. Our degree of success depends on how closely and productively we work and how determined we are to translate our vision into tangible results. Together, we must look far beyond the present to scale up industrial production, attract massive investment, and step out of the usual to innovate and take a giant leap into the future. To succeed, we must aim much higher, act much faster, and act together. With my government's current political will and enthusiasm to work, coupled with the willingness of our development partners to support us, and the huge potential of our citizens, our capacity to fast-track the execution of our development agenda is enormous. As a developing country, transforming its institutions to sustain democracy, we have demonstrated our ability to engage in peaceful politics, despite our divergent views. The spirit is that when the interest of the country is at stake, we must always stand together. Distinguished members, our international standing and ranking indicates a keener international focus on the country. My administration is strongly determined, therefore, to make the Gambia a shining example of a flourishing small state on the African continent. To this end, I call upon all Gambians to remain steadfast in our collective mission to build a better nation. Let us work together across all odds and social divides to initiate success, embrace inclusivity, and nurture the youth. I urge further that we safeguard our democracy, uphold our values, and protect the dignity of all Gambians. The Gambia now stands out as a land of optimism, resilience, and opportunity. As we move forward, my government will focus devotedly on policies and programs that will lead to economic self-sufficiency and rapid development. The state of the infrastructure has the potential to sustain this. With tolerance, social inclusion, sustainable development, and fortitude, we will surely succeed in building a prosperous Gambia for all. I express sincere gratitude to the security forces, including ECOMIC, for reaching out to the people, in addition to executing their routine work. I equally thank all public servants, the private sector, civil society organizations, and all public institutions for your cooperation and service to the nation. Sincerely, I salute our women and youth for their positive involvement in building a peaceful and prosperous Gambia. To all the vulnerable members of our society, I reaffirm our unwavering commitment to your empowerment and encourage you to stand and be seen and heard. Given the need to recognize the basic rights of these minority groups as Gambian citizens, I advise that we allow them more space to participate in all social, economic, and political processes. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of this august assembly, I thank you sincerely for your cooperation over the years. Together with the judiciary, I advocate that we collaborate more closely in the interest of the people we collectively and passionately seek to serve. I urge this august body further to rise above party politics and put the Gambia first. We are accountable to the people who put their trust in us to manage the affairs of the nation. The institutions through which we serve them define our various mandates. Thus, I plead that we aim higher to advance our governance processes, administration, and monitoring strategies. With faith, perseverance, and a shared vision, we will successfully drive the Gambia forward into a future of prosperity and peace. I invite all Gambians, partners and friends to join us in this regard. Ladies and gentlemen, I am thankful to every citizen and resident in the country for the peace and stability we enjoy. Finally, I thank everyone present for your attendance and attention. May God continue to bless the Gambia and bless us all. I thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Honorable members, any seconder to the motion? Honorable Member for Kantora and Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, I rise to second the motion being moved by His Excellency the President. And also in the same vein, to thank him equally for the fulfillment of Section 77 of our Constitution, and to assure the general public that the statement delivered here today is a clear testament that the Gambia is in the right trajectory, both in development and in good governance. Therefore, we will stand resolute to stand by His Excellency with the campaign slogan, His Excellency President Barrow for continuity. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Kantora and Majority Leader. Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that this August Assembly do consider the motion on the State of the Nation Address 2025 delivered by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Honorable members, the consideration and debate proper on the motion will be adjourned until Monday, 23rd June 2025, to allow honorable members ample time to study and reflect on the contents of the address. On that day, honorable members, the Vice President and Cabinet Ministers are expected to be present to witness and participate in the debate on the State of the Nation Address. Before adjourning, honorable members, permit me on behalf of both sides of this August Assembly, and indeed on my own behalf, to extend our sincere appreciation to His Excellency, the President of the Republic, for his well-delivered State of the Nation address. Indeed, while it is a constitutional duty, it is one that His Excellency has once again fulfilled with grace, clarity, and candor. The address has provided a comprehensive overview of the condition of the Gambia, the policies of the government, and the administration of the state as stipulated under this Constitution. It has also offered us a timely opportunity to reflect deeply on the progress we have made, the challenges we continue to face, and the urgent need to foster national unity, peace, and stability, all essential pillars for achieving our national development goals and aspirations. As elected representatives of the people, we are entrusted with the solemn responsibility to ensure that the policies and programs outlined in the President's address are scrutinized and debated with diligence, objectivity, and patriotism. It is imperative that we gain a clear and full understanding of the government's development agenda, as this will empower the National Assembly and its committees to effectively execute their legislative oversight and their representative functions. Your Excellency, on a separate note, allow me, in my capacity as Speaker of the National Assembly of the Gambia and the President of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, CPA Africa Region, to officially inform this chamber and the nation that the Gambia will host the 54th Annual General Meeting of the CPA Africa Region from the 10th to the 16th of August 2025. This historic occasion marks the first time our country will host this prestigious parliamentary gathering. We look forward to welcoming speakers, members of parliament, clerks, and officials from across the African continent under the shared banner of unity, democracy, and parliamentary development. It will be a proud and transformative moment for our legislature and our nation. Finally, Mr. President, I thank you once again for honoring this assembly with your address. In the same spirit, I extend gratitude to His Excellency, the Vice President, my Lord, the Chief Justice, and Honorable Justices of the Superior Courts, Honorable Cabinet Ministers, Honorable Members of the Assembly, and all distinguished invited guests for their presence at this important event in our parliamentary calendar. On behalf of both sides of the Assembly, I also wish to register our heartfelt appreciation to all Gambians for their continued support and collaboration in our collective pursuit of nation building. A special word of thanks goes to the Office of the Clerk, the task force, and all staff and stakeholders who have in their various ways contributed immensely to the success of today's event. Honorable members, upon putting the question, I kindly request all guests to remain seated to allow His Excellency the President to take his leave of the chambers, to be followed by the Vice President, Cabinet Ministers, and other dignitaries. On that note, honorable members, I now put the question. Be it resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned until Monday, 23rd June 2025 at 10 a.m. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. This Assembly now stands adjourned until Monday, 25th June 2025 at 10 a.m. prompt.